What's going on, guys? Zephyrnix here, and let's just knock this one out the park really fast, okay? This one's another response, and the final response to KJB, and I'm basically, you'll see why it's a final response in a minute. So let's go over to it. First of all, he's still talking about the Sony and how the CD format they made it. Now he said that it's a need. First, it was a I don't know what it was before, but I'm going to knock it all out the park in the later part of the video. So, okay, first of all, in regards to my subs, you based your whole theory off of one sub. You go to back to that page, you'll see another guy who actually said that he was tired of seeing the Truth Set You Free videos. So, yes, and if you actually go to the Truth Set You Free videos, you'll see like about 7 or 8 of those subs saying the same thing, that they are tired of seeing the Truth Set You Free videos. They want to see something different. So while I do respect, and you based off of one sub, that was Michael, and I do respect Michael's opinion, but the fact of the matter is that I cannot base everything off of one person. And that's just how it works. I cannot do it. You know? Now, also, you also mentioned, and this is the part where I found it funny, because your original video called me a misinformed fanboy, yet you seem to fail to know about the 2.40 patch. That's an obvious patch. In fact, well, I'll get into that in a minute, but the patch was removed about, I think it was like 12 to 14 hours later, and it took them 6 days to come out with another patch. So basically, yeah, you're right. In order to resolve it, you had to reformat your hard drive. So let's look at that for a second. If you had any form of sensitive data on your PlayStation, on your PlayStation, like a video, pictures, or games, or game data, they all were deleted thanks to Sony. Sony forced you to remove all of your stuff that you had on your PlayStation 3. Yeah, good fix. You also brought up the whole PSN versus Xbox Live thing, and how I had no problem with PSN Live, but PSN Live, Xbox Live. But then you brought up the whole Sokyo versus me versus Sokyo thing, which, you know, was quite frankly irrelevant, because no matter how you look at it, I still had the same problems when we were talking about P2P versus dedicated servers, and I know where you're going with that, but the fact of the matter is that no matter how you look at it, I still had the same problems with PSN. And I'm not the only one who had the problems with gaming online with PSN. Many people have had them. But in my personal opinion, my personal experience rather, I've had problems with Street Fighter 4, Little Big Planet, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Fat Princess, Warhawk, and that was connection issues. And why I didn't have connection issues with Metal Gear Solid Online, the fact of the matter is that it came to a point where it took forever to just to get connected to a game. Xbox Live, I've never had a problem, period, with anything regarding Xbox Live. I connect, I play. I connect, I play. I connect, I play. So the dedicated servers may be better, that's true. One, it doesn't make the servers better just because they have dedicated servers, because you can have the dedicated servers all you want. The fact of the matter is that if your shit is bad, then it's not going to work. That's like these mints. I love these mints. These mints are really good. But the fact of the matter is that they can have dedicated factories to make these mints all they want. Now, while that's good for them, the fact of the matter is that if these shits are nasty, then it's not going to do any. It's not going to make too much of a difference. Every time I played online with Marvel vs. Capcom is a good example. I was always lagging. What's one guy? I had a huge problem playing with him. You know, me and Sammy Tiki was playing the other night, and we were sitting there just trying to. We had to kind of get past the whole lag issue. So to tell me that there is no lag in PSN, or to tell me that PSN is better, is, well, in my experience, retarded. But that's just my experience. Anyway, which brings me to my next point too, because you also said that quote, "You're pretty sure that most of my original points have been debunked and destroyed." What the hell are you talking about? Have you not been keeping score? And that seems to be the one thing about you. You don't seem to be paying attention. Let me go ahead and clarify this for you. Number one, in your original video, you said that I was wrong about Toy Story. But the point I was making is that Sony is basically nickel and diming. Let me go ahead and tell you like this. Sony gets the royalties. We know that, right? Now, you said that it's not Sony's fault of the how they put out the DVDs. That's true and that's not true, because Sony owns the BDDA. So if Sony owns the BDDA, that means that these companies have to get it approved by Sony. So if Sony approves the having two different DVDs, for having paid $40 for something that you could have paid $25 for, by putting on a well, for the guy who mentioned that, put the two movies on a dual layered Blu-ray, it would have resolved it. But yes, so while Disney and Paramount does own the rights to Pixar and The Godfather and Toy Story and whatnot, Sony still had their hand in it. So my point was valid. Number two, while I do agree with the warranty over reliability, what we believe and what we like is irrelevant. The point is that Microsoft does have its warranty that covers 89% of all the self-inflicted issues that resolve around the Xbox 360, i.e. RROD, i.e. scratch discs. Desires for reliability, our desire for reliability is irrelevant to the conversation. The point was that they had the warranty, and why they had the warranty was also relevant. My point was valid. You ragged on how I only had one case with the Sony screwing up the PlayStation 3. No, I only explained one case. There were many cases of that situation. And the fact of the matter is also that, but that was also relevant, because the fact of the matter is that while all systems have failures, and while those failures aren't, Sony's failure rates is not as high as Xbox 360, the fact of the matter is also that their rate is high enough to warrant a warranty. The fact of the matter is they don't have a warranty. My point remains valid. I was also, excuse me, I was wrong about online. That's true. How Xbox, Microsoft, and PlayStation, Sony does their online. But you were 100% wrong in your whole entire argument in that one. So the fact of the matter is that I had to help you own me. So no, you don't get that. So, and neither do I, obviously. So you said also that Xbox Live just improved on Dreamcast, which is obviously wrong because they took their stuff from the PC. All the online stuff is from the PC, not to mention that Microsoft had a hand in making the Dreamcast anyway. So no matter how you look at it, it still was Microsoft. My point was valid. You talked about the consoles, about the hard drive and whatnot. You said the PlayStation 2 also had a hard drive. That's not the point. The point was, I said, who had the hard drive first? It was Xbox is the one who had the hard drive first. My point was mainly valid. Not to mention, you actually said that the hard drive was improving on the memory cards. Dude, hard drive came out before memory cards. They weren't available on consoles, but the hard drives were available before the memory cards. So yeah, my point remains valid, and that was particularly what you just said was absolutely retarded. But just to let you give you some facts too, Xbox was released in 2001, PlayStation 2 2002, and it's irrelevant in terms of the expansion slot that was there on the PlayStation 2 because that was not the issue. The issue was who came out with the hard drive first. My point remains valid. You said that Sony was the first one to succeed in successfully succeed in using a disc format. That is absolutely wrong. Sega Saturn, Sega CD, TurboGrafx, Turbo Duo. Give me a second to get my other list here. Where's my list at? Here we go. The 3DO, the Amiga CD32, the Playdia, the PCFX, the Neo Geo CD. All these came out before, one more again, before PlayStation. So therefore, my point still remains valid. Then you said that they were the first ones to use discs. The previous one also debunked that. You also said that they were the first ones to use DVDs. Okay, yeah, they were the first ones to use DVDs as far as I remember. Of course, board games were using DVDs before that, so I wouldn't call it exactly jumping into the future. I was playing Dungeons and Dragons with a DVD way before that. You know that video that Board James has on his thing, the Dungeons and Dragons one? I had that. That was a DVD. But whatever. What did I say? Oh, and you said Blu-rays. Well, yeah. I mean, granted, if it's true what Sony did, and they actually made it so no console can use a Blu-ray, but yeah, I guess that would be considered a point. After all, it's kind of like saying that Sony is a better system because their PlayStation 3. Excuse me, the PlayStation 3 is a better system because they copyrighted the acronym PS3. And last but not least, yeah, you are right about the whole HDMI point is valid. So no, absolutely. My whole 4 points were 1 through 6 rather, and you debunked none of them. None of those points you rebunked. And the last one, your first point, you were wrong with, and your last 2 points, you were right with. So I got 5 points versus your 2. Congratulations. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm gonna let this one off to 10 minutes just in case I get cut off, but yeah, you probably should stop because you're not debunking anything. You guys have a good night. Zeph is out.